Hello, my beautiful class! Today, we are going to be learning about commas. And for many of you, this might be a review. However, this is something that USA Test Prep is going to check you on. So, here we go. Our objectives for this class, students will be able to use commas in a list appropriately. There are a couple tricks to remember this. And then, students will recognize inappropriate comma insertion between subject and object, which is something we'll talk about later. I should probably say subject and object, because for you the sentence goes this way, which is backwards for me. So first of all, why commas? And I thought to demonstrate the importance of commas, I thought we would take a look at something that has 0 commas. Sometimes when you think you love something, what you really love is not the thing itself, but just some small and inessential part of it. You think you love banana splits, but really you just love the maraschino cherry on top. And you think you love autumn, but really you just love getting a pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. And you think you love Shrek, but really you just love that montage near the end after Shrek and Fiona have their falling out when he's sitting in his swamp all alone and she's getting ready for her wedding. And Rufus Wainwright's cover of Hallelujah is playing in the background. That was tough. So that one didn't have any commas. In fact, it had very little punctuation. You can tell it did have the teensiest bit right here. It had a semicolon, so I got a little reprieve from not taking a breath. Many people think that if you think you should have a pause there, that you put a comma there. Is that a good rule? Sometimes, yes. Other times, no. Sorry, English. Let's look at a sentence. So this one had no commas at all. Let's give another sentence a try. Know that although the cat has the advantages of quickness and utter disregard for human life, you have the advantage of strength. Capitalize on that advantage by selecting the battlefield. Don't try to bathe him in an open area where he can force you to chase him. Too many commas! This is from a lovely essay called Cat Bathing as a Martial Art, if you were wondering. So we've seen 2 examples just now, one where you have 0 commas, and one where you have so many commas. The best comparison to commas in the real world that I can think of are like traffic lights. Some places you need a traffic light because people need to know which way they can go. But if you have too many traffic lights, stop and go all the time, no way. But if you have 0 traffic lights and everything's like, people don't even know what you mean. So today, we're going to talk about one of the uses of commas. Commas, they're probably, I don't know, maybe, I'm going to hazard a guess and be like 7 or 8 different ways you can use a comma. And today, we're only going to talk about one of them. And we're going to talk about one of the big faux pas with commas, which is to say giant mistakes. Faux pas is French meaning misstep, you know, when you kind of go the wrong way or you start out in the wrong direction. So, commas used correctly. Right now, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of commas being used correctly, and I want you to deduce, use your lovely brain, and tell me, what pattern do you notice? If you had to describe the way that these commas are used to somebody else, how would you describe it? I like to eat ketchup, mustard, and relish on my ice cream. Carly wears her diamond-studded tiara to school on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Pedro hid a pizza, a bag of gold, and 27 dirty socks under his bed. So, what do you think about when we should use commas? This is a short answer question I'm going to ask you. You might be able to begin your sentence by saying, we should use commas when, and then explain from these examples, what do you think the role of commas is? And these are participation points. I'm not going to grade you on a right or wrong answer here. I just want you to start thinking about it and to think, can I guess from all of these examples what the role of commas are in these examples? Time to move on. The answer Yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine. I tried to make mine as concise as I could so you could remember it. Concise means short or brief. So you use commas after every item in a list except the last one. So you can see, what is this list? The things I like to eat on my ice cream: ketchup, mustard, and relish. But no comma there. So you use it after every item in a list except the last one. Now this is an example of commas used incorrectly. Can you spot what's wrong with this sentence? James loves pizza, Pokemon, and princesses. Here's the correct version of the sentence. I have a little asterisk by the first sentence so you guys can tell that one's wrong. James loves pizza, Pokemon, and princesses versus James loves pizza, Pokemon, and princesses. What's the difference between these two sentences? The comma after loves. Guys, there should never be a comma between you and what you love. The first comma should be after the first item in the list. And then except the last one. Sometimes the list is the end of the sentence, but sometimes if this were to say James loves to bring pizza, Pokemon, and princesses to school, there wouldn't be a comma after princesses. So, we're going to do a few examples where I want you to choose where commas are used correctly and where they're not used correctly. And the rule to remember is they are after every item in a list except the last one. So, practice round. Are you ready to pick the incorrectly punctuated sentence? Here's the rule just so you remember. After every item in a list except the last one. Go! Now, let's get creative. These are going to be short answer questions. I am going to give you a list of words, and you have to put them into a sentence. And you need to use commas correctly in your list, but you have to use the words I give you. It's a little bit of a challenge, because I just love the weird combos, guys. So remember the rule. You use a comma after each item in a list, except the last one. Your words are pizza, peanut butter, soda pop. Magic castles, far off places, scary monsters. Video games, YouTube, extreme sports. Our last question for class today, what did you learn? Just write 1 to 2 sentences. What did you learn in class today? Summarize it as best you can. This is participation, not graded. And then remember our objectives. Students will be able to use commas in lists appropriately, recognize inappropriate comma insertion between the subject and the object. That's when you have something between you and the thing that you love. And I also want to remind you that I am all over the internet on this social network business, and sometimes students do make it onto the Facebook page for their responses, etc. Not that I want you to send me all this funny stuff just to get on the Facebook page, but I do think that I showcase good work there, and you'd probably enjoy it. Thanks so much. Have a great day.